What's up, guys? Mario here with TCG Hut. We're in Hamilton, Ontario, Black Knight Games. Just finished up a tournament here. We've got Dale Chapman with us, and I believe you came in second, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right, and you were playing?
I am playing Reflector Fray Knights, or it's more similar to the Zach Tucker Special.
Okay.
It is a variant on the list that I wrote about in an article for GrinningRemnant.com.
Nice.
And as the name suggests, we're playing Reflector Fray as the ruler. We're going for a mid-range strategy, and we're going to use the cycling that Reflector Fray provides just as a way to have all the answers all the time whenever we want them.
All right.
So, of course, starting with being a Reflector Fray deck, the first card that we're playing is Change the World. I believe that Change the World is perhaps one of the best cards in the game, if not the best. It just adds a large amount of versatility and utility to an already powerful ruler, and it just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yep. And we got that Gil Lapis coming in the next set that may mess with that a little bit, but hopefully not too much, right?
No. I don't think Gil Lapis is as strong as everybody claims he is, but that's my personal opinion. He's still strong, obviously. And then since we are red and a Knight's deck, we're playing for Lancelot. Perhaps the best 2-drop in the game. Puts on so much pressure, your opponent just needs to answer him. He dodges thunders and demon flames, and gets through a bow. So they need 2 bows to stop him.
Just wish it was the other art. I hate that art.
I'm 3 out of 4 on getting this art.
Awesome.
I don't want to switch arts until I have 4.
I'm the same way. Gotta have all 4 or it's nothing.
And then we have for Percival, of course, again, a Knight's deck. What's a Knight's deck without Percival? To provide constant source of advantage, finding you either Knights. I believe we have 10, 11 mainboard Knights that we can hit off Percival, and 9 mainboard Regalia.
Alright.
So those are the 4 ofs in the deck. I do have this organized in numbers.
That's fine by us?
That's how I felt like the best way to organize
Whatever makes it easier for you.
Then we have, the reason that we're blue is 3 Hera.
That gorgeous Hera.
Oh, it's beautiful. We were playing 3 or 4 Heras before, but I decided that trimming it down to 3 might be better for the local meta. There's not many decks that are super reliant on Regalia here, so 3 was just the perfect number I found.
Yep.
It gave me more slots to work with for more interesting techie cards.
Yeah. And it does help with your own Regalia too, right?
Yep. We do run both Death Scythe and Artemis Bow. So when you run out of counters on your Artemis Bow, or you don't need Death Scythe, you can blow up your own Death Scythe or Bow and get card advantage that way.
Alright.
We run 3 copies of Gerda. Gerda is, if Lancelot's not the best 2-drop for mid-range strategies, I think Gerda would be. She's gotten a bit weaker now that Reflect has been nerfed.
Yeah, because you've been back and forth on that card a lot.
I have been, because I don't like her in a Reflector Fray strategy that does not have Change the World in it, because you run out of counters too fast, and you're not able to flip Reflect in just... you don't have enough counters, that's what I want to say. I'm lost for words. 3, I would never play 4 of her. That just gets too counter heavy. Dropping her on a turn 2 where they've done something not as aggressive is pretty strong. You can swing in, you can kill their turn 2 Lancelots, their Cthulhu's, stuff like that, especially with the pump from Reflect.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
And then one of my favorite cards today, and a last-minute decision to play, is 3 copies of Alice, Guardian of Dimensions.
And of course, look at this. All three of them, alternate art. Like,
No, wait.
not alternate art, I should say promo art.
Wait for it. Number 4.
Oh, he's got a fourth one. Look at that.
Won every single copy. Hard work pays off. This is my first time ever actually casting Alice, Guardian of Dimensions, in a game. And every time that she came down, she just affected the match in such a significant way that she was almost always worth it. You never want to play her as a 3-drop. You always want to wait till about turn 4 to play her, so that way you have the ability to protect one of your cards. And one of the cool tricks you can do with her is you bash in for 7, get the 7 flying, and then use Reflexibility to untap her, just to give you more protection on your turn if they drop something super threatening that you just have no way to get rid of. That way you can banish her, or whatever it is, exile her, and
I
remove
tried
it.
using that card, and I think I used it hella wrong the first time I used it, but...
She was perhaps MVP in this deck.
Alright.
Next up we have 2 Guinevere. With the nerf to Reflect, we don't dig through our deck as much as we used to, so 2 Guinevere just to provide more of a source of card filtering. Could be playing 3 if you find the space for it, but I would never really go 4. Guinevere is not really good in multiples. 1 Guinevere is always sufficient, so you want to stay on 3 as max, at least in this kind of deck. If your deck uses more banishing, you might want to actually play 4. Like I played a Reanimator list that used 4 of her. 2 Thunder, spot removal, and reach. It's just the best 1-drops removal spell in the game.
Why not 4?
Why not 4? The next card is the reason why we're not 4, because we're playing 2 Demon Flame as well. I like to reserve my Bolt slots in this deck to 4 cards, and today I decided to go with a 2-2 split, Demon Flame Thunder. We do play Artemis Bow, so Demon Flame with Bow is just a great way to remove cards that you normally wouldn't be able to remove with the combo. And then we played 2 Flame of Outer World. I love this card. Just strict removal that they cannot chase is absolutely insane, and this is the reason that we are 4 colors is for Flame. Just because it's so good, and a couple sideboard cards. We also run 2 Flame King Shout. I was running 3 before, but the way that the meta's been shaping up, I don't see enough decks where I really want to be casting Flame King Shout. So I went to 2 copies of it. We also don't have many cards to cheat in that provide much value. We don't play Snow White, and we only play 1 Gareth. The only other target that I can really think of is Little Red.
But
you really don't want to, you're in a bad position if your Flame King Show is cheating in a Little Dread.
Alright.
And then we played 2 Bow. I was playing 1 Bow because I haven't been a huge fan of the card. I know people love and swear by Bow as one of the best regalia in the game, but I found 2 to be the right number. You dig and you find these so quickly, and you never really... I think 3 Bow on the field at once is too much. It's just redundant. So 2 Bow is the perfect number, and you dig through your deck so fast that you're just going to find them whenever you need them. That's the 2 ofs, and now we'll go on to the 1 ofs. We play a slew of regalia as our 1 ofs. We play 1 Horn, just the ability to recycle your graveyard and basically get your entire deck back is insane, especially when you are able to tutor so often with Reflect. You know, you can throw away your 1 of cards or, you know, your flames, and then you can just tutor it back up by cracking Horn. Horn is great. Laveton is entirely there for when we want to get really aggressive with our reflect flip or refrain flips. You know, flip over, activate it on your opponent's turn, flip back over, untap, add a counter, flip it back, and basically never giving your opponent the opportunity to cast things without having to worry about the ability to counter it. And Death Scythe is here just as a one-of to counter aggressive ruler strategies like Kane and Sylvia, and as well as just if ever a Valentina deck comes up. Yeah. Playing a Gareth. Gareth is perhaps the best card to cheat in with Flame King Chet.
Yep.
He also is really good if your opponent has a slew of bows or something, you can just swing through them with Gareth. One of Gawain. I've really liked Gawain when I cast him. He pumps up your Lancelots into 8/8s and makes it really easy for you to just use your little red, the Pure Stone, to pump and activate Lancelot to get your 700 damage. One copy of Little Dread. Little Dread is a pet card of mine. I really like the versatility that she brings, the ability to act as a removal spell or to act as a zealous conscripts of sort, I guess, if you play Magic, you know what I mean. If not, you think I'm insane. You can also use her as a way to bash for 14 damage with Swiftness, targeting herself with both of her Awakenings. She'll become a 14/12 with Swiftness. One of Dream of Juliet. Dream of Juliet is, again, one of those utility cards that just has a bunch of different options that you can use. Being able to have main board answers to Barrier, Shadows, and other pesky additions, is the word, is really useful. You can also use it to blink their attackers, blink their blocks, or even double swing with a Lancelot if you need to. We play one of Susanoo, just powerhouse, and gives us main board outs to Gwyber strategies that we can tutor up with Reflect. And we play one of Exceed the Light. I've been playing around with this card as a way to provide more advantage on removal and kind of do some shenanigans, turning Heras into Lancelots on end step when you have a Guinevere or Leviathan to banish them to. Stones are pretty simple. 4 Ruler's Memoria, 3 Heat Ray. We always want to be able to have access to red and white on turn 1. 2 Moonshades to round out our 6 sources of colors. We do play all 4 colors, and we want to be able to access all 4 colors. So 6 sources, and one of Little Red the Pure Stone, probably just one of the best stones in the game. Turns on your Lancelots, allows you to make favorable trades for just 1 mana.
Alright, sideboard time?
Sideboard. We play one of Flame of Outer World in our sideboard to round us out to 3 copies of Flame. I don't play the 3rd one in the main because sometimes 2 is just enough in the matchup that we need it, but sometimes we'll run into a strategy where we want to see another copy. 3 Robofire Rat because red aggro is a bit of a harder matchup for us because we do play a bunch of dual stones, so we want to be able to stem the bleeding as early as possible. So 3 of these, just great cards. 2 Glimpse for the Valentina decks, as well as really just any deck. Dark Alice, I love playing this card against Dark Alice. Just being able to glimpse their God Art puts them in a horrible position. 2 Barrier. There's not many strategies that are playing the 28 Regalia deck, so we only really need 2, and we don't need to see them in the main board, we just need them in the side, really. 2 Crime and Punishment to punish the Baja players and to punish the Sylvia players. 3 Absolute Cake Zones in the chance that we need counters.
That's interesting.
Honestly, I'm playing Absolute Cake Zones over Keen Sense because I have 2 regular Keen Sense and 1 foil, and I really didn't want to play with those. Nobody plays stealth cards, so there's really no downside in this case to running these, and I just get uniform foils. One more Susanoo, just to bring in when we need to close out the game, or if they're playing Gwyber. And finally, Dream of Juliet, just another copy of one of the most versatile cards in our deck.
Awesome. So after playing today, would you say there's anything that you would change about the deck?
Yeah, I think there's a few changes I want to make. Probably going to go to playing 2 copies of Gawain.
Okay.
Gawain was really good when I played it, and there's only one stone that can't produce white, so the double white is not that much of a pain for our deck. So we can safely play Gawain. Might want to go up to 3 copies of Bow. I know I said that 2 is like the right number, but Bow is just a really good card, and I want to see it more often. Other than that, just playing with numbers, playing with copies of Fanovs. I really wish I got to play with Exceed the Light more. I think it's a great card, and I think it's absolutely underused.
Awesome. All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you next time in the top 3. Other than that, any final words? Final words?
No.
No wisdom? Nothing? Like.
Screw Quad Thunders.
If you want to know about that, just ask in the comments below, and we'll have a little discussion. But for now, I'm Mario with TCG Hut, and we're out of here.
And I'm Salty.